I do work here, lady. But, it's not what you think it is, by user _Anderson. There's a defunct car dealership in my area that's been renovated and repurposed as a funeral home / banquet facility. I sometimes pick up part-time gigs to help with parking and other ancillary items that come up during the events that they have there. The building sits on top of a small hill, and when the dealership was there, rather than just having a sloped parking lot, every section of the parking was leveled out so it looked like the cars were parked on risers. And there were certain places where they parked the cars that were special, or on sale, or something to get everyone's attention. Essentially, the place looks like it could be a car dealership with the way that the parking lot was constructed. So one day I was working an event when this foreign lady walked up to me and asked, "How much is this cars? I want to see this cars." With her broken English, I quickly realized that she didn't know what the sign said. No sooner did I turn around to find her husband and the people with her pulling on door handles and looking in the windows. I guess this was the day when everyone at this event drove a nice car that was freshly washed and waxed because this family of foreigners thought they were at a dealership. I kept trying to explain, "No. These cars are not for sale." Eventually they left. Maybe we got a negative review. LOL. Steer into the skid, by user dirty_corks. I don't work at Target. I did provide vendor support for a number of years, but that's irrelevant to this story. I made the mistake one time of going to a Target wearing khaki pants and a red polo. When I realized my mistake, I made sure to be as abrasive as possible without being actively aggressive to customers. I don't have to call then guests, who demanded help after I said I don't work here. Example. Beans. I don't work here. Tell me where the beans are. So, are you just stupid and deaf? I'm going to get you fired. Awesome, tell the manager to show you where the beans are too. There were 3 or 4 interactions like this. One guy even brought a team lead over to me. The interaction went like this: customer, see, this is the guy who was rude. TL, sir, I've never seen this man in my life, he's not an employee here. Me, hey, that's the guy who asks for help by yelling beans at other customers, and doesn't understand I don't work here. It's nice that you are so accommodating to the mentally and socially challenged in your community. I actually enjoyed it enough I probably stayed an extra half hour causing chaos. I did send one customer to the sporting goods section when he was asking about bread, for example. I suspect I've been fired from the Target in Oviedo, FL. I'm also not sure what it says about my psyche that I liked being rude to customers for a change. I worked retail for another company for years, that likely has something to do with it. A light-hearted mistake on our part, by user Dart. One afternoon I was heading to Target with the kids in the late afternoon, around the time my husband was getting off work as a teacher nearby. I texted to ask if he needed anything, and he texted back that he'd meet us there as he was on his way out the door from work. Imagine my mixture of delight and embarrassment when he walked in wearing khakis, black shoes, and a red school shirt with his ID badge still attached. I cackled out loud and thought, this is going to be rich. Sadly, it was a slow day and he didn't get harassed as much as I'd hoped, but he did low-key act like he was assisting this lady and her 2 kids anytime someone shot a look his way. The best, however, was the self-checkout. He obviously was helping check out the items in my cart, and the folks at the other kiosks were definitely giving funny looks at why this one customer was getting so much help and attention. So I decided to play into the attention and started making innuendo about what it would take to get him to give us his employee discount. Definitely some pearl clutching behind us in line. I know there are plenty stories about people being inconvenienced when mistaken as employees, but if you have free time and nothing to do, I highly recommend going to a store and matching employee colors just for kicks and giggles as free entertainment. I don't work here, but thanks for thinking I do, by user Sleepless Seeker. So this happened on a particularly lazy day when my brother and a friend dragged me out of my house right after I woke up. I wasn't exactly dressed to impress bed hair, a crumpled shirt, and a general I need coffee vibe. We ended up at a clothing store, and while my energy levels were at rock bottom, my wandering eyes spotted a pretty girl walking in with her younger brother and what I assumed was her mom. Naturally, as any normal human would, I spent the next few minutes low-key, high-key, thinking, wow, she's cute. Mind you, I was doing absolutely nothing to look like a functional human, let alone someone you'd want to strike up a conversation with. Anyway, as we shuffled through the aisles, she suddenly walked up to us. For a split second, my brain panicked like, what do I say? What do I do? Why didn't I fix my hair? But before I could embarrass myself, she did it for me. She looked at us and asked, where can I find the inner for this shirt? Now, let me paint the picture. Her younger brother immediately tugged at her arm, whispering, they don't work here. But alas, the damage was done. Her words were out, our confusion was set, and we were all locked in a moment of collective embarrassment. She quickly realized her mistake, turned a little red, and awkwardly started to step back. Meanwhile, my friend, my brother, and I had this classic idiot trio moment. Friend, she wasn't talking to me. She meant you, right? Brother, no way, bro. She was definitely looking at you. Me, nope. Not me. She totally aimed that at you. Cue awkward laughter and all of us avoiding eye contact like pros. The girl and her brother walked away, probably pretending we didn't exist, and we spent the next 5 minutes trying to figure out which one of us looked like the most convincing store employee that day. Spoiler, it wasn't me. Who am I apologizing to? By user McCavies. This is a mild story, but I found it amusing if not a little embarrassing. Last year I decided to order half a cow from a local farm. It's my first time, I have no idea what I'm doing. Turns out, it's a wonderful deal and I'm so happy knowing where my meat is coming from and how it was raised. It takes several months for our order to be ready and we were scheduled for the end of January. The time has come. My husband and I make our way out to the farm. They have given us very detailed instructions on how to reach the barn. Great, right? They have given us instructions to call as soon as we turn onto their very long driveway, their words. I make the call. Voicemail. We decide to continue down and see what happens. It's late afternoon and the sun is glaring in our faces like it has no other job. We drive a little further, slowly, and see a man on an excavator in the middle of the dirt driveway. He's moving stones to make a wall with another person. Cool, we wait till it's safe to pass. No problem. We continue down the dirt road until we realized that we have definitely gone too far. It's rocky, muddy, and getting treacherous. We realize our mistake and start to turn around. At that moment, my phone rings and it's the owner of the farm, finally, telling us we have gone too far. No day. She has a bit of a tone, mildly unpleasant. She says that we had gone too far, missed the sign and to turn around. Dude, we're doing that. She says that they had dealt with another customer who had done the same thing we did, except they damaged their vehicle and threatened to sue. I promised her that that wasn't us. We were in our mighty Subaru and we're fine. We make it to the barn. Cool. We meet her in real life and we both reassure each other that nobody will be complaining about overshot pickup spots. She's very nice, just cautious from past experiences. We were going to be splitting our cow with a friend, so while waiting for them to show up, she pulled out a table so we could split up our haul. Awesome. Her farmhand started bringing out the boxes and while I was standing at the table, a rugged-looking man walked up. Her husband. I immediately started to apologize for overshooting the driveway and for causing a mild ruckus. The bearded, Carhartt-wearing man said no problem. Phew. We're all good. The owner comes out from the barn behind me and asked the bearded man what his pickup was for. He responds and leaves with a box of beef. I apologized to a very confused fellow customer. He ran with it though, so that's cool. My husband had a good laugh,